Hey everyone, welcome to the March edition of the Morning After. My name is Erica.
I'm Marissa.
Thank you for hopping on the Hot Mess Express.
All aboard. Welcome to the Hot Mess Express. Choo choo.
I have to do that again. I'm sorry, it was very low.
All aboard. Welcome to the Hot Mess Express. Choo choo.
I fucking love that.
Me too. Every time we're always shimmying over here.
All right, you guys. So this is our monthly edition of the Morning After, a show where we talk about all of the last night regrets, right?
Yes.
From the drunken adventures that one might have to dating debacles, one night stands, anything.
Anything in between. It's just a segment where we all have those what the fuck happened the day after moments.
Absolutely. So that being said, we are going to have our dating correspondent.
Yes.
Helen call in. I don't even know where Helen is right now, as a matter of fact.
Still out there creating content for us.
She's
hard at work.
She's hard at work getting those stories together for us.
Yes.
So while she calls in,
Mm-hmm.
there's a couple things that I actually am getting my shit together, guys. I'm so proud. Marissa and I have this shared note that we have to remind each other of stuff we want to talk about during the shows.
Yes.
And I think we've only used it once.
When we created it.
So today I actually used it because I'm
did.
I was like, oh my God, I want to talk about this on the show and I want to talk about that on the show. So look at me getting my shit together.
Being a grown-up.
Being
I
a grown-up
love that for you.
this show. Okay. So one of the things that I put on there that I wanted to discuss
Yes.
was, I don't know if you guys are familiar with or if you're getting any of these on your TikTok feed, but lately I've been getting a lot of I call it cheater talk. So that's people people finding cheaters and calling them out, right? So for instance, there was this girl who was in Vegas.
Okay.
And she was at a pool party at a day club, right? And there was a bachelor party right next to them.
Okay.
Next to their cabana.
Yeah.
And at that bachelor party, the I guess the bachelor himself was fucking making out with girls, just going to town, really living his best life and giving everybody a little of his love was what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Right? His last hurrah. So one of the girls that was in that cabana next to them starts filming him and the bachelor party, right? Mm-hmm. And said, and then she went over, after, kind of mingled her way over there and starts talking to the guy that's going to be the groom, right? The bachelor, and starts talking, hitting him up, right? To see if he would take the bait, which he totally did. So he's hitting on her and kind of getting handsy, trying to just fucking all over her. You know what I mean? Being a gross dude. So the next day she gets on TikTok and she films herself saying, "Hi, I was at a pool party in Vegas.
She was snitching?
Yeah, so it's snitch. She's snitching. So she gets on there and she's like, I was at a pool party in Vegas. If your fiance had a bachelor party here this weekend and they were at a day party here at the Wynn, his name is blah, blah, blah. He was cheating on you. He was making out with all these girls and him and one of the, I guess they had strippers go into that cabana.
I mean, as one should in our bachelor party in Vegas.
They were in there with curtains closed for a long time. Then I made my way over there and he tried.
Because I had to be involved.
Exactly.
Bitch wants to be the main character.
Exactly.
Pipe down, sit down, and mind your own fucking business.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? So she filmed herself. So I've been getting a lot of these type of fucking, I'm calling them cheater talks, like I said.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen any of these? They're crazy.
I haven't. I somehow landed on the North Sea side of TikTok.
Oh, is that boat?
Those boats and those fucking scary ocean bullshit.
No. I thought it was that cruise line with people living in it. That,
no.
thing. Okay.
No. It's the North Sea.
Oh,
Like the North Sea side of TikTok. So they're like, oh, you could, these are like, it's the most treacherous like sea out there, and that's why people get paid like a lot of money apparently to work on those boats because it's a really bad. I'm like, how the fuck did I land here? I don't know. Maybe my Texas just telling me, bitch, you broke.
go work on the north.
Go work on the North Sea. I don't know.
But yeah, so I keep getting these cheater talks, and then one of them that I found, or that I was on my For You page.
Yeah.
So there's this girl. She's on a flight.
Okay.
And she's headed to Chicago, and the guy next to her sits down, and she says as soon as he sits down, he creates a fucking Hinge account. And he's wearing a wedding ring, by the way. Right? Okay. So he gets in the flight, creates a Hinge account, and starts messaging. Like, she said it was like a 4 or 5 hour flight. I can't remember. Starts fucking messaging all these girls, and she's like, he's just swiping the entire time. She's like, so if your husband was going to Chicago on this day...
Bitches need to mind their business.
Yeah, if your husband was going to Chicago on this day, he was on Hinge. His name is Brian with the Y. And,
You know damn well every fucking Brian that flew that day...
got
Brian, ripped a new asshole.
Brian with the Y. That's
every Brian with the Y.
And she like gave details, and he's got this kind of backpack or blah blah blah. Goes off, right?
Dang.
Totally ratted this guy out. Then, so people are like sending her stuff, and she's like, no, not that guy, and whatever, right? She does a follow up. She's like, guess what? Brian with the Y coincidentally had the same flight as like. Coming back. She's like, and I know it's him because it was the same backpack, like the guy, whatever, right? She's like, so I didn't like sit next to him, so I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know the follow-up. She's like, but it's just so coincidental, right? That I got next to, that I sat right, or that I saw Brian with the Y, right, back on my flights. Then she goes on to film a third one with like a conclusion.
Okay.
Right? Because she's like, I don't have any updates. Nobody has spotted the wife. Blah, blah, blah. Right? But like, I felt like going up to this guy and like saying something, but I didn't. Like, so she's...
The fuck are you going to say to a person?
Right? A person you don't know.
How dare you make... I saw you making your Hinge profile and you got a wedding ring on. You don't know the story? What if he's like widowed or something and he still wears his ring and... Like, you don't know people's situations. You just don't.
We don't. But the conclusion, fuck her and her nosy ass, come to find that people that know him saw the TikTok, right?
Okay.
Contacted the wife.
Okay.
And the wife was like, oh yeah, I know he does that. They've been together since they were 16 years old.
They haven't, like, that's their relationship and that works for them.
Right? So they've been together since they were 16. She's on her third baby. She says that he likes doing that because he likes the attention that he gets from women. But that she knows about it, so she's okay with it, and nothing was going to come of it. Which, good for her. Like, if that's their relationship and she doesn't give a fuck, why should anybody? But... So the girl was like, oh my God, like nothing, like she didn't even care. Why do you care if she doesn't care?
Ma'am, it's called getting a life. I suggest if you were that invested into somebody else's life, invest some of that time into your own self. Worry about your own accounts. Worry about who you're fucking, what's going on in your world, what's going on in your relationships. Don't be worried about other people. People just need to leave other people alone. And I get it that they're trying to make this on a, like, I'm trying to watch out for someone, but absolutely not. Like, I leave people alone, mind your business. If you're not getting cheated on, then what do you care? If I don't personally know the person, like if it's somebody that I know and then I find out that person's cheating on them, then yes, I'm going to say something. But if it's some fucking rando on the street, I don't give a fuck. Live your best life.
You know, I'm kind of, I'll be honest, I don't know about calling out people's cheating to their spouses because it's never going to turn out the way you think it is, right?
Oh, no, 100%.
You're either going to be the fucking asshole that broke up that marriage, or they're gonna stay together, and you're the asshole who told her about it.
And the spouse is never gonna like you, and there's gonna be that weirdness. Yeah.
So a crazy story that I have, and I think I once alluded to it when we were like back in the AMP days, but I'll give you guys the scoop now.
Yes.
And I didn't even know this person was cheating, but you just don't get involved in people's relationships is the moral of the story, right? Yeah. So I had a friend who was a best friend for like 10 years.
Okay.
Right? And I honestly, we did everything together.
You get,
like, she was like a real bestie, right?
Close friend, yeah.
So she started dating this guy, a little older, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But she seemed very happy with him, was totally into him. Then, the day before Thanksgiving, we were supposed to go out.
Okay.
Because my ex was DJing at a club in the hotel that I worked at, and the company I worked for, like, ran those nightclubs. So I wanted to go see Brian spend that day, right? So I'm like, let's go check him out. When I got to the house, because I was going to change real quick and go back, she sent me a text, and she's like, I got to go over. And I'm like, oh, I was going to pick you up. Remember? She's like, no, we can't go. She's like, I got to tell you what happened. So gets to the house, crying her eyes out, tell me how she was at her boyfriend's house, right? Mm-hmm. That she found an alternate email of his.
Okay.
Where she found out he had been fucking his ex. They had been together for, I want to say almost a year at that point.
Okay.
He had the entirety of her relationship with him. He had been fucking his ex still. And they were using that email account to solicit other couples through Craigslist.
Oh, shit. Through Craigslist?
Yeah.
Dang.
Isn't that crazy? So, she said there was like...
So, he's everybody's boyfriend.
Everybody's boyfriend. I'm like, bitch better have gotten an STD check. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I hope she did. I was like, girl, you need to go get checked.
Clinic today.
Exactly. So she found, I want to say there was like, she said like 3,000 emails. Or I maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's a little high, but thousands. Like there was thousands of emails, correspondence, right? Yeah. So I'm like, okay, even if you like, I'm not a mathematician, guys, by any means. Like if you listen to this show, you know I'm horrible at math. But like, even say it takes like 4 or 5 correspondents with one couple, right?
Okay.
So you keep dividing that down. I don't know how I figured it out, but I think
you did the math.
I did do the math. I'm like, okay, so then there's still like, that brings it down to like maybe, I forgot what I had said, like X amount of couples that they've actually contacted, and from those X amount, only a certain percentage
would actually sleep. Yeah, they go
actually went through.
It. Yeah,
but that was still like 30 couples. I think I narrowed it down to. I dwindled it down to. That's still 30 people that could have possibly said yes. So I mean, I was totally flabbergasted when she told me this. I was just like, oh my god, but my gut instinct, I was like, I cannot say anything.
Right.
I'm like, I have a feeling this bitch is going to get back together with this man. So I was just like, the only thing I did tell her was like, please go get checked.
Yeah.
You don't know what is happening or what happened. Just please get checked.
Yeah.
Long story short, of course, like they broke up for a bit.
They got back together,
and she stopped being my friend. Yeah, she stopped talking to me, because I guess
I'm like, man, be mad at all the 33 people that were in that inbox.
I
don't be mad at me.
I guess she was embarrassed and
probably I'm thinking so,
and just didn't want to hear my 2 cents. Which, by the way,
you wouldn't have said. Yeah,
I did not. I'm very opinionated, you guys, but I had a feeling she was going to get back together with him, and I was like, I am not going to say fucking...
You're opinionated, but you would always respect someone's choice. Like, you're going to say, hey, your decision.
I mean, if you want to stay with him, that's on you.
That's on you. Yeah,
I'm not the one who has to go to bed, wake up with him. Like, exactly. That's on you, lady. So I just out of it, she just kind of stopped. Like it was like gradually stopped, like talking to me, hanging out, and it like to a point that we just weren't like we just completely stopped hanging out, and I was doing my own thing or whatever. Then she had like the nerve to like, what happened? Why are you not talking to me? And I'm like, not talking to you, girl. Like you just stopped like hanging out with me. Like it just gradually stopped. But anyhow, so it kind of got flipped on me, and I didn't even say anything. But whatever.
See, that's where I would have been like, I thought you were very busy trying to keep your man's peen from other couples and his ex.
Yeah, so long story short, don't fucking get involved in people's relationships.
No. What I mean is, if I have been a person that's been cheated on.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I would have appreciated someone telling me. I'm not saying I give an opinion. I'm not saying I say anything. But if somebody that I knew or people that... Because you do end up figuring out that there's people that knew and just never said anything. Mm-hmm. You're like, it's kind of shitty. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you could have given me a heads up. Granted, I'm also a person that I'm going to be mad at the right person. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, my relationship is with this person. It has nothing to do with you, no matter what you say, right? Because everybody has opinions, right? I take it in the same way of like, if you tell me, hey, your zipper's down or you have something in your face, or like, to me, that's in that same category. It's up to me to do the investigating. And then if it is true, then it's up to me to be mad at the person that did it to me, not the one that told me.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
What I mean? But I think if I'm in a place where I know the person and I know the person's kind of in the same boat that I am and is not going to turn it around on me, I would say, hey, you know what? Just heads up, I would never snap pictures. No, just be like, you know what? I
have this
information. You do with this whatever you like. I don't want to be a part of this ever. Like, I support you no matter what. You're my friend.
That's it. I knew about one, which I think I've mentioned throughout my stories. Yeah. How I ended up in Vegas was through a broken heart. Mm-hmm. And people did call me and tell me he cheated. Mm-hmm. I had a lot of people, but then I was also in the restaurant industry, and he did it in front of people that we all knew. And like the restaurant industry, everybody's fucking gossipy as fuck, right? And then the other one, no, he was totally protected by his friends, and they weren't gonna tell me. Like it was.
No, but I'm saying if it's my friend.
Oh, yeah, but I didn't turn on the people who told me. Like, I didn't blame them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that, those type of people. You know, there's type of people that are not going to turn. And then there's the people that are going to, like your friend, like, steer away, steer clear, whatever the case, even though that was not even the situation there. But there's people that will get mad at the incorrect person. Yeah. And steer that anger and frustration towards that person. If I don't know you that well, and that's what I'm saying, we have to be really, really good friends where I know you and I've known you for some time and I know how you would tend to react, I would take the slight chance of telling you. But if we're like, hey, we know each other and
your
blah, blah, blah.
No.
None of my business. I don't give a flying fuck. I don't even know your boy. I don't even know your man.
Exactly. So
man,
you're not going to tell acquaintances. We're definitely not going to get on fucking TikTok and be like, if your man was blah, 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 I want you to know that he cheated on you.
What a fucking party pooper. In Vegas, bitch, what did you think they were going to do?
I mean, the Bachelorette is dumb if she didn't think nothing was going to happen.
And who knows, maybe the Bachelorette was having the time of her lives on another fucking hotel in Vegas.
Who knows?
Getting thrown around. You never know.
All right, Marissa. Well, let's go to a song, and then we will come back with Helen, our dating correspondent.
Yes.
Get some updates. So we will be right back, guys. All right, you guys. We are back. Yes. And now we have Helen. Helen, how do you like your new title?
Oh, shit. What? The dating correspondent?
Yeah.
Love it. So I think it's perfect title. I like it.
I know. We will thank Adam for that. He threw it out there on his show today when he was promoting his show. He's like, oh, and then I Hate It Here is doing the morning after, and they're going to have their dating correspondent, Helen, on. And I'm like, oh my God, that is fucking perfect. And that is her new title.
That's it.
Yes, Adam, that's a good one.
Good job, Adam. Good job.
All right, Helen. So First, let Marissa go over the chat real
Yes.
quick on what we were talking about. Are you seeing any of these cheater talks that I'm talking about? Or
No.
maybe
What?
I should call them snitch talks instead
Yes.
of cheaters because they're snitching on people.
Yes.
No. Okay, I saw the Risa Tisa for sure. Because after you guys talked about it, I'm all caught up with that. But as far no, I haven't seen any of these snitching talks, and I got on late. But I got the very end of your last conversations where whether you guys want to know or not, and this is why I would want to know, because then you leave them. Because if someone else knows, then you're like, I'm not gonna stay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Is that like an accountability thing? Like,
yeah,
okay.
for sure.
So you would be okay with like somebody fucking say you're engaged and some stranger does a TikTok telling you if your man's was going to Chicago, he opened up his name is Brian with the Y and has this type of backpack and his hair looks like this.
Yeah, he gives full description of who he is.
He created a Hinge account and was swiping the entirety of the 5-hour flight. Would you want to know that?
I would. And that's the whole purpose behind those Facebook groups, right? Like you literally, if you're going to get serious with a guy and maybe you have any uneasiness or maybe you just want to know, you search their name in these Facebook groups and it's like, or you don't see it and you put a picture. Does anyone have any tea or red flags? And then you want to know all of that. And then especially like if you're going to get married, that's a commitment.
No. Like we get when you're trying to date the person, but these are people that are just in the vicinity. Like this, the story was.
Yeah, no. Helen gets it. She's saying that there's Facebook sites that people will tell you.
No, but she's saying like if I'm dating, that's what she's like. If I'm dating the guy, I would want to know. No, we get that, but we're talking about like I guess we're talking about these people that are
random strangers
that they're not dating the person, that just happen to encounter
your significant
somebody,
other.
without any context, anything. You would be.
It doesn't matter. Blast them.
See,
blast them. I say that, but you know what though? Like more and more, I wouldn't do it. But here's why. Because I know there's a lot of polyamorous people.
Exactly.
And they have established in their situation that it's okay. So, I mean, I love chisme. I love the gossip. I love the snitch.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. But no. And people just want clicks, right? Like people want to go viral.
Content,
like that is the true definition of gossip, right? You're like airing people's dirty laundry. Now, I am a communication specialist, so I need to know everything, but I am not spreading ill will to everyone. Like I want to know everything about everyone because of communication. But
no, I'm with you, girl.
I don't.
I'm still watching them. I'm still going to play.
Fuck yeah, I'm still sitting there watching them.
I'll be like,
dang, Brian with the Y is about to get busted.
I'm like, every fucking Brian with the Y got his ass handed to him.
Yep. Yeah, so I definitely would not be filming, but maybe, I don't know if I would want to know, like if like all of a sudden, like you're on TikTok and you find a fucking TikTok about my significant other and you're like, Erica, I just found this out, and you send it to me. I don't know how I would take that.
That's what I'm saying. That's tough, right? It's different when I'm like it'd be different if the girl that he matched with or whatever is like putting it on this post or asking like, hey, I'm like, gonna talk to this guy. Is there any red flags? Blah, blah, blah. To me, that's different. But some total stranger not knowing the context.
No, yeah.
To me, that's a little bit like, to me, I'm like, no, mind your business. Because you don't know, again, like Helen said, you don't know how many people have arrangements. Like,
well, look at how it turned out for Brian with the Y.
Exactly.
His wife is like, I fucking know that he did that. I don't care. We're in the middle of having our third child.
Yeah.
We've been together since we were 16. Fucking have at it, Brian with the Y.
Have at it. Just you're somebody else's problem for the weekend.
I want him to learn new moves and bring him back.
There we go. I mean,
she's like, how How do you think I got knocked up in number 3? All right, Marissa, give us what's happening in the chat, and then we will get to Helen's updates.
Yes. All right. So it looks like Fluggy was saying that he thought that the plot twist was gonna be that she had slept with him. And that they had to be on the same plan right back. I was like, that would have been a plot twist.
She matched him on Hinge.
She's like, match. But Jen agrees. Stay out of other people's business. Jen Glenn, I agree. I would totally stay out of somebody if I'm looking from the outsider. He's a community boyfriend. That's a community peen. going back to your story that you shared. That he was. And then there was a question of giving him the benefit of the doubt. What if he just had a lot of spam? What if those were not 3,000 emails of people that he was trying to?
I don't know if it was a high number. I can't. Yeah. You know me and my memory. It probably was not 3,000 emails that she found, but she encountered quite a fucking lot, and there's no way that they did not get at least some couples to say yes to them.
Wow.
On that.
They were trying. All right. The person who tells gets the ire of the news. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like Jen says, I'd want to know. Like, I'd want somebody to tell me if they knew. I'm like, yeah, I'd feel the same way. Like, if it's a friend, and you're my friend, not their friend. Like, I don't expect that my significant other's friends to come and be like, look, let me tell you something. I would respect it 100%, but I wouldn't expect it. But if you're my friend, I 100% agree.
Okay.
I would expect that. Let's see. Joey says, Hinge is more for like relationships, I thought. Not like Tinder is for hookup. I don't know. Helen? The expert?
My experience.
I think people go for whatever they want on any app, no?
It's anything goes anywhere. But yeah, definitely Tinder is for hookups. Like, people know that. And Hinge, you have a variety of what you can put. So you can put like, and everyone, because a lot of people don't know that there's dating apps for not kinks, but different forms of relationships. Mm-hmm. In case you guys are wondering, Feeld, Feeld, is where you would go if you're polyamorous, where you would have the most success, because that is a very kink positive community. That's where you go for threesomes. That's where you go for open marriages and all that. But Hinge, Bumble, Facebook dating, those are all more like, you're trying to date, supposedly. But you know what? Guys are going on any sites they're all looking for relationships, but they're not.
Okay.
Like,
that's what I
not all
well,
of them
that's
are.
what I figured. But I see that Mr. Pantone Black was asking, what did I miss? And Snitch Talk, do I have to download another fucking app? No. So Snitch Talk is a part of, like, it's like a section of TikTok that I fell into, where people are snitching on cheaters, on people that they don't know. So, like,
they're not dating them.
They're not dating them. They're just saying, like, for instance, one that I saw recently was, hey, if your boyfriend or your fiance was partying in Vegas and was at this beach party, he totally was making out with all these girls, and then he went into the cabana and had the door, like, all the curtains shut, was in there with the stripper for a very long time. Then I made my way over, and he was totally hitting on me. So just so you know, he's been cheating on you this entire weekend. That's what that Snitch Talk is about. So I've been seeing a lot of those. That's what we were. So it's just people posting these for clout.
Yeah.
So anyhow. All right, Helen. So speaking of Mr. R, before we get into your dating updates, he did want mention yesterday that we've never talked about our dinner.
I was totally going to start with that because you know what? I've got stories upon stories, you guys. I have an agenda.
Questions, girl.
All right. You go ahead and you lead this conversation as our new dating correspondent.
Yes.
Okay. So last time we talked, it was the day before I went on my cruise, And it was the day before I was going to meet Erica. And I was so excited because I was going to be leaving out of Galveston, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And you fly into Houston, and we were able to meet up. It was so nice. And I met Jen Glenn too. That was awesome. And then you guys got to meet some of my crafting friends.
Yes, who you had just met as well.
Yeah, I was
In real
meeting
life.
them for
Like,
the
you
first
knew
time.
them, but that was the first time meeting them in real life.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was, I knew them the way I knew you guys, right?
Got
like
it.
we
Okay.
developed these friendships online just by chitty chatting. But I just wanted to give a shout out. There's Carla is here. She's new. She's one of my crafting friends. She just joined Station Head for this show specifically.
Oh, yay. Hey,
So-
Carla, how are you?
Welcome.
So I met Erica. Erica actually got to see the video that was sent to me from Officer Ross, where he does his little
I
dance.
did. Which, by the way, was 100 times less cringe
Once
than
you saw it?
when I saw it. Like, it was fun. I thought he really, like, when she said he would, like, strip, like, I thought he really went to, like, to town, was, like, taking it all off, and, like, I really thought it was, like, a whole strip type of thing. No,
Okay.
it was actually, like, funny, and, like, it was endearing. I'm not gonna lie. It was cute.
Okay.
Okay.
And for me to see,
Redemption for Officer Ross.
yes, redemption. Like, I really was ready to, like, vomit. And I thought he was gonna be a total, like, I thought it was gonna be a creepy tease. That's what I thought.
No. It was him unbuttoning his shirt with the beat and
Yeah.
playing with his eyebrows just back and forth, and yeah, it was stupid, and lip syncing. But yeah, it was really nice to meet Erica. But when I was going on the cruise, so I get off the phone with you guys and I have to look for my passport.
Oh my God, Helen.
And I cleaned my whole room and I turned my room upside down and I did not find my passport at all. And I am stressed, and I slept an hour and a half because I think I fell asleep on the chair. And it was 8 a.m. and I called the cruise line. I'm like, can I use an expired passport and my ID? They're like, no, ID and birth certificate or an active passport. And I'm like, fuck. So I had to be at the airport, and my sister called me at 8 and she's like, did you find it? And I'm like, no. I go, but I can use my birth certificate. I go, I don't have my birth certificate, but I know my mom does. But here's the caveat. I haven't talked to my mom in 6 years.
Oh.
So you guys all know that I'm a forgiving person, but she has crossed the line and I do hold grudges. So I haven't talked to her, but my sister's like, let me call her and I'll get it for you. I'm like, cause look, I go, there is a chance that if she finds the birth certificate, she can overnight it for Saturday. Cause on Saturday is when the cruise left.
Mm-hmm.
She can overnight it to my hotel and I can make it on. And she's like, okay. So she has a plan, and I'm like, do I just go? And it was 9 o'clock. I had to be at the airport by 10. And I'm like, it's 9. I need to pack because it's half an hour to the airport. And I packed with, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So I packed my bag. I went to the airport. I couldn't even get an Uber. Like, I was running late. I just had to park at the airport. And I got there, and someone, we won't say any names, someone called me, had heard I didn't have my birth certificate or passport, and they're like, I can get you a fake one. I'm like, that's a felony. They're like, yeah, but you're a citizen, so where are they going to deport you to?
You're like, that is going to put you in fucking jail.
They're like, you're like, that is such a felony, but also I'm in.
And so I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, get me one. So I sent him the address I needed it sent to. And I got on the plane and I couldn't sleep. Like, I took a 20-minute nap and then I was just awake the rest of the flight. Like, I just couldn't. I was so nervous the whole time. And I just kept thinking, I'm either going to spend a long weekend in Texas and come back, or I'll go on a cruise. I don't know. But I land, and when I turned on my phone, I got a text from my other brother, and he's like, hey, we found it. And he showed me a picture of it. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. I'm like, okay, so this is where you need to send it. This is what we need to do. You need to make sure it's overnight. You need to make sure it's a Saturday delivery. Because my family is so shady. They're like, oh, we can save $50 if we just go to the airport and bum it on someone who's going to Texas or something, I'm like, no. I need receipts. I go, I need a tracking number. I need this. And he went MIA, and my sister got a hold of my mom, and apparently my mom went to go do it. And I got a tracking number. Luckily, I hadn't blocked my mom. I had just 6 years ago, I sent her a very harsh message.
Oh shit! And that message was still on the phone.
The message was still on the phone, but she sent me a picture of the tracking number, and I just said thank you. But yeah, I was like, so I had a tracking number, still didn't know if I was gonna make it. You just don't know. And then the next day, I check out of the hotel as FedEx was arriving with my birth certificate, and I went on a cruise.
Look at you.
Nice. I know.
Helen, you just gave me anxiety. I just
know.
want you to know that.
This is just how Helen lives her life, and it's
Girl,
wild.
I could not.
I don't know.
It's not a way to live.
Getting on the flight to I mean, if you're ever stranded in Texas, Helen, you could have spent the night. I have plenty of room. You could come home with me.
Yeah.
But I just can't live like you.
No.
Like, I can't live like myself, you guys. This is why I have high blood pressure.
That anxiety is too much for me. I already have my own level of anxiety that I can barely deal with.
I know.
I'm like, that's crazy. But Mr. R yesterday was asking, he's like, so did you get a steak dinner from Helen? I was like, a steak dinner? He's like, yeah, because she takes everybody out for steaks.
No. Only on your birthday.
Which I thought was fucking hilarious. And I was like, fuck, man, I could have gotten a steak dinner out of Helen, and I didn't.
Missed opportunities.
Yes, but we had a very lovely time.
Yes.
Helen was so sweet, as the ladies that we met were. Mm-hmm. Jen Glenn was fucking hilarious. I don't even know how we got to talking about this. But like, she's totally kidding, but in a serious tone. Mm-hmm. She's talking about how if it's okay to date somebody if they're your fourth cousin, because you don't know, and it's too like
no, ma'am.
But she's joking, right? She's totally like joking about it, but like saying it kind of with a straight face.
Yeah.
And it just so happened, like, we were kind of by, like, the serving, like, where the servers pick up their drinks and do, like, by a service station for the servers, right? And one of the servers was, like, turned around, he's like, you guys are fucking wild. It was fun. It was very nice.
Oh, my
It was
goodness.
very nice to meet Helen, yes. She was sleep deprived and still, like, I think she was only awake through fucking anxiety.
I mean, with that fucking roller coaster of emotions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Helen, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. We're going to go to a song, and then we'll be back, and then you can tell us about the cruise. Yes. And then also give us updates on Pop Pop.
Yep.
And who's on rotation now? Like, we don't fucking know.
We need a roster.
I will give you roster updates.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, y'all. So we're going to jump into the song, and then we'll be right back with Helen, our dating correspondent. All right, guys. We are back.
Yes.
Jen writes, I'll make out with the fourth cousin, but I draw the line at drugs. Well, that's because you have not tried Molly.
See, Jen, I'm reverse. I draw the line at the cousin, but I'm okay with drugs.
I'm just saying that because it was Molly sells Molly by the seashore. But all right, Helen. So, okay. You were going to meet Pop Pop before the cruise.
Yes. Okay, so Pop Pop works graveyard, and we had said, hey, let's meet up before I leave to the airport. And I with the whole passport thing, I was just like, let's take a rain check because I was not in the mood for that. So I'm like, I can go without getting some because I am just worried about my passport. So,
You're like, I'm
so
gonna
we
find a
didn't.
couple on that cruise ship anyway. Pop, pop. I'm all good.
I'll be all
I'll be
right.
looking for the pineapples.
I'm sure there's some upside down pineapples I'll find my way.
Okay, so you didn't meet Pop Pop.
I didn't. So I went on the cruise. Cruise was so amazing. I met all my crafting friends and it was just so much fun. There weren't a lot of single guys. Like at one point we went to the club one night and there was one guy in the elevator and my wing woman, Carla's sister, was like, "Are you single? Cause so is she." And she was trying to hook us up. But he looked, he was a youngin, like definitely late 20s. And I'm like, yeah, it's too young.
Well, I
But
mean, you could have taught him some things.
You could, yeah.
But
yes,
if you felt
yeah.
like if you were in the mood to teach.
Yeah, if you were in the giving spirit and giving back to the community in that way, good for you.
And then there was one guy at one point. We were doing like a music trivia night or something. It was like 80s trivia night. And I was sitting with my friend, and this guy comes and sits next to me, and he came in by himself. He was this gorgeous guy. And I was like, okay, I see you. And I just kept talking to him. And then my friend's like, he has a ring. I go, it was either a class ring or a football ring, but it was not a wedding ring. I'm like, that's not a wedding ring.
Helen knows those. She could spot those.
She spots them a mile away.
Yeah.
Good for you, girl.
It was on his ring finger, but it wasn't a wedding ring. And she goes, you know what? She goes, my husband used to wear his class ring on that finger before we got married too, kind of a thing. I'm like, okay. Yeah, guys are little, they're a little dumb. They don't know where to wear rings. So but I didn't have the courage to make a move on him because I would have felt like an ass if he was married. But at some point there's a video where I was pseudo karaokeing and then I was singing to him and he hugged me and it was pretty nice.
Helen,
I might post it on my social media. Huh?
I can't believe that you got shy.
I am very respectful of marriages. Like I never wanted.
Was he married? I thought you said it.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I
don't know.
Okay.
But I'm like, why is he here by himself? Like, and but so that was the second to last day, and then on the last day, after we had after when like it's 2 a.m, everything closes, we went to go get pizza, and I saw him there with his kids, but I didn't see no mom. So he could very well have been single. And I'm like, damn it, I missed my opportunity. But I don't know. I was just like, I just couldn't. But I mean, I was flirting with him a lot. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'll post the video and you guys can see. That was as forward as I could get with him. But yeah,
okay.
I don't know.
So no action on the boat. That sucks.
No action on the boat.
All right. Okay. So fuck the cruise. We're done with the cruise, and we don't need to know more about it. Now you're back in Utah.
Yes.
What's going on in Utah?
Okay.
What's happening?
So I come back and legit, you guys, I was at the airport and I had like 8 guys messaging me from Utah, and I'm still in Texas. I'm like, damn, this cruise life, my goodness. And
you're like, a bitch leaves the state and they all want me.
Dang, I need to fucking leave
yes,
Texas.
I know, me
too. And these are guys, that, didn't really work out. No hard feelings, but then they're just all popping back up. And I'm like, oh my God. And legit, like for a few weeks, I was wondering, I'm like, is anything going to come out of this? Because all these guys were messaging me to the point that, I mean, Pop was, how was your cruise? I'm like, oh, it was great. We never hooked up. He is so fucking busy all the time. And he just never made time for it. And I'm like, you know what? At some point, I just stopped texting him.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm done. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
getting all
taking
hot and
up-
bothered.
Yeah.
Pop Pop is busy fighting for custody of his son and being a grandpa.
Well, too bad.
Yes.
He's got a bench.
Okay, so Pop
I mean,
Pop's kicked
I've
to
been
the
trying
curb.
to hook up with him since Christmas time, and I'm like, you know
Oh,
what?
hell no.
Something's
Yeah,
gotta
no.
give.
No.
Uh-huh.
Good luck with
Yeah.
that.
So no. So I mean, and I was talking to these other guys who were potentially great, who I always liked, but I just felt that they weren't interested in me. But you know, for whatever reason, they were texting me back. And Officer Ross is texting me, and I've kept a very clear line with Officer Ross. I'm like, we are friends. And he's like,
After
yeah, but
you
send me a
peed on
picture.
his floor?
No, girl, you guys are a little bit more than friends.
Okay, I'm sorry, but you peed on his floor. He deserves some action again.
Yeah,
I'm
he
sorry.
does.
You need to go back and don't gag this time. But you gotta
No blowing this time. Let's avoid that.
No.
Right?
No, because you know why? He did message me after. He goes, that was so hot. And I'm like, see, all these motherfucking boys, they love my pee. They love it.
Maybe you and I have been doing it wrong.
Let me tell you, boys are nasty. Because let me tell you, I do squirt, okay? I do squirt. And when I spend the night, they're like, I'm like, oh, we should change the sheets. They're like, oh no, I love to feel the wet spots. I'm like, motherfuckers, this is nasty. Like when it's at my house, I have pads and I remove them and we're sleeping on a dry bed. Oh no, it's a guy's house. They're like, oh, I love the smell. And I'm like, you guys are weird. But you know what? I have a special set of skills.
That is fucking wild. That's wild.
Helen, you have me rethinking my whole life.
I know. I think
like maybe I should have peed on a couple of floors.
that's been our problem. I'm not peeing enough.
I'm
not enough. I've never peed on anybody's floors. I gotta fucking get my game.
Yeah, we gotta step up our game here.
Drink a lot of water. Leave the state and come back.
All right, so Officer Ross, you just haven't. I mean, I think you owe him, but if you're saying people are not going to pee, then okay, I guess I'm wrong.
Yeah.
No, because I have specifically told Officer Ross, I'm like, I want to be your girlfriend. And he just doesn't want anything. He's like,
Helen, don't
I'm
make
not
me go to Utah,
emotionally
break
available.
that fucking relationship up, because I will. You're not getting a boyfriend. As our dating correspondent, that cannot be.
You cannot.
No, I'm just kidding, Helen. No, I want you to be happy.
Oh, and just so it's clear, I've kind of been looking at the chat. Officer Ross is not a cop at all. I call him that, and it's a whole story. But he is not. That is not his name. He is not a cop. He is.
No,
I don't know what the fuck
that's
he
just
is.
what we reference.
Yeah. That's his name.
Yeah.
That's his name on here.
Yeah.
Just like the previous guy, his name is not really Pop Pop. He's just a Pop Pop.
Yeah. We nickname everybody, you guys. We nickname,
Everybody
and sometimes the show picks the nickname. Like Mr. Pantone Black came up with the best one, Homie the Pooh. Yes.
No.
No. Fuck that guy.
Fucking bed. No.
I'm burning him with the
Mr. Oh.
Okay.
So yeah. So go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. So he's out because he doesn't want a commitment. Who's on the roster? Who else is on the roster now?
Well, here's the thing. In August, I turned off my dating apps because I got busy. So he was a friend with benefits, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it got to the point where I would flirt with him all the time. And then we wouldn't even meet. It was just like, he just wanted me to flirt with him.
Oh.
And I'm like, you know what? No. And that's why I would call him out on it. I'm like, you know what? I can be your friend. I go, I really appreciate you as a friend. Because here's the thing. If I am dating someone, he becomes the most emotionally available man. And I can vent. And he is right there. And he's like, oh my gosh. And he's everything I want a partner to be. but he doesn't want a relationship. So I'm like, I don't know. He's weird. But he always comes around when I get dick. I'm either sleeping with a guy that night and he's texting me that night, and I'm like, does he have something on me? Because every single time I'm like, I go, are you smelling dick? He goes, I knew it. And I'm like, fuck you. Leave me alone. Like, I'll message him
Don't
the
be
next
cock
day.
blocking me.
He's got a superpower.
I know.
Yeah. And so, well, I've been talking to this guy, and we've been heavily corresponding with each other. Like, usually, like this week, like from 9 to midnight, we are just texting all night. Last night we were on the phone, and Officer Ross has been every night messaging me. I'm like, oh, this must be good dick, because he hasn't even come around and tapped me, and you're already all over me.
He's got spyware on your
But-
phone.
I know. He's all tracking you.
Seriously.
Okay, so
Gosh.
this guy, how did you meet this guy?
This guy I met on Bumble.
Okay.
On Bumble. He yeah, I kind of told him I do a radio show, and he's like, what it for? What is it? I'm like, dating horror stories. And he goes, oh, don't talk about me. I'm like, no, I will talk about you as long as you don't give me a horror story. He's like, okay.
So you haven't
So, yeah.
met him in real life?
No.
Not yet?
No. In person
Not
dates,
yet.
nothing. Okay.
Okay.
No, not yet.
You said, how long have you been corresponding? I'm sorry, I forgot already.
Well, so I met him over the weekend.
Okay.
And then on Monday, we just got really consistent and exchanged numbers.
Okay.
And we're supposed to see each other this weekend.
Oh.
We have a date planned already. So,
okay.
but yeah, I just hope he matches his energy throughout a relationship, because you know how guys are like, good morning, blah, 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 and then they just like fall off, and it's like, ugh, don't do that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, but no, I mean, so far all green flags on this guy. But yeah, so but I had a story planned, and it's 7:30, you guys.
No, go
I
ahead.
talk too much. Are we gonna have to go twice a month? I don't know.
You know what? Let us play a song, and then we will get right back to that story. Oh, she's on mute. There we
Okay,
go.
sorry. I forget I have to unmute every time. Okay,
Don't worry,
I'm
I
back.
do too.
Okay, so this is the story I was going to tell you guys. So, this is a horror story.
Oh my god.
It was my there was this guy I was talking to last year, and he was super respectful, and by that is he didn't go straight into sexting, right? And he was pretty cute. Like, he gave me Adam Pally vibes. I don't know if you guys know who that comedian is.
No.
Or he's been on a couple shows. That is my type, you know.
Hold on,
And
I'm
so
Googling him right now.
Okay,
What's
good.
his name?
Adam Pally, Pally.
Oh, okay.
So he very much looked like him, like, and he was just so nice, so respectful, but you know, we just couldn't get a date at all, like, and then so we finally planned one, but he was just always really nice, you know. And I'm like, oh, this can be really good, like, he hasn't gone nasty with me yet, right? And so I really liked him, and then so it's my birthday, and I don't remember what happened, but I remember being in a really bad place either the night before or that morning. Like, I had gotten some bad news or something, but I just was not feeling my birthday. And I remember my best friend, she goes, oh, we're going out for your birthday. And I'm just thinking, I don't want to go out. Like, I just wasn't feeling it. I was not feeling good at all. And then my ex-boyfriend reached out to me, and he's like, happy birthday. I'm like, I'm feeling really shitty. I you know, it's not a good day. He's like, you need to go out and you need to have fun. And if you're out, I'll take you out for a drink with your friend. And I'm like, okay, you know, and I kind of left it in the back of my head. And then my friend, she didn't know I was in a shitty place, but she's like, come on. And so I ended up going to her house and getting ready. And She's like, so I'm going to let you get high today because you never get high. And I'll be your DD. And we are just going to go have fun. We're going to a drag show. It's going to be so much fun, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Let's do this. So I'm getting ready at her house and we're like sharing clothes, whatever. And I send this guy a picture. And obviously I have cleavage. And he's like, oh, you're gorgeous. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I know. And all of a sudden, he's like, well, where are you going? I'm like, well, actually, it's my birthday. And he goes, oh my gosh, happy birthday. And he's like, where are you going? And I told him, oh, I'm going to be in downtown. And I told him where we're at. He goes, oh my gosh, I'm just a few blocks from there. You should come and see me. And so my friend, being the bestie that she is, she goes, Helen, if you're going to get dick, I'm all for it.
Do you, boo? I love that.
And then, so I was like, I don't know, we'll see. And so, sure enough, we go to this drag show, and it was like, they were just starting to do a drag show. So it wasn't that busy, and it was kind of a flop, whatever. But I got high that night, like, and I haven't been that high in a while. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so fucking high. Like, I didn't know I was having a hard time. And then, so he's like, are you going to come over? You should come over. And I'm like, should I go? And my friend, she's like, do it, come on. So I'm going over to a guy's house, which I never do. I always meet in public. You know this, right? You don't go to a guy's house. Like, who does that? A girl who's fucking high on her birthday. That's who does that. So I end up going to his house, and he gives us his address, and he lives on Hannibal Street.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's big negative.
Right? And then, but he lives in a nicer part of the city. So I'm like, oh, okay. And I get there and he's waiting outside. And then he takes me to his basement. And I'm like,
No.
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 He lives in a basement. And I'm like, oh, no. And he has a roommate. And I'm like, fuck no. And so I get into his room. And then I'm like, I notice what happened. So I hadn't really talked to him or whatever, but he's like, "Oh, so I'm so glad you're here." And I'm like, "What the fuck am I doing here?" He was like a nerd. Like, I don't know how else to say
A
it,
nerd
but
that lives in the basement.
he was a nerd that probably wet himself when he saw this gorgeous girl in front of his face.
Yeah, he did.
And then I'm like, "What?" I was high, but I'm like, "What the fuck am I doing right now?"
You're like, not that high.
No.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, do you want to watch TV?" And I'm like, "You know what?" I go, "I'm really high. I shouldn't be here." He's like, "Did I do anything? Did I offend you?" And I'm like, "No." I go, I don't want us to see each other for the first time when I'm this high." I go, "It's not like a pleasant high. It's like I'm really high."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, well, I'm just going to move." And so he moves because it was his room. So we were sitting on the bed. So he moves to the other side of the bed. And now he's acting all weird. And so I message my friend because she dropped me off. And I'm like, Bianca, come pick me up. And he goes, "Did I do anything?" Like, he goes, I don't want this to be a Me Too situation. I'm like, "You didn't touch me." Like, he was legit scared, right? And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, and so he's getting all weird, and he's like, I mean, I don't know why you want to leave so soon. I don't know what. And he got weird. And I was like, oh, fuck, what am I doing? And so I had taken off my shoes because that's what you do when you go to someone's house. And so I'm trying to put on my shoes all high, and they're strappy sandals. And I'm like, fuck, I can't. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait outside. And so like I go upstairs, and he's like, oh, and then like he starts like blowing. So I end up waiting outside for 2 minutes, and my friend picks me up. She goes, "I had just picked up a lip liner to see the color, and you're texting me already." I'm like, "Girl," and I tell her everything, right? And so he starts blowing up my phone after, and I'm like, oh, fuck, And so I just kind of ignore him, and then I just ended up blocking him, because I'm like, I can't deal with this right now. So we end up going to the bar, And my friend, she's like, Helen, you're not supposed to hook up with your ex-boyfriend, but if you want to get dick, it's your birthday. I won't judge you. I'm just like, that's the girl you want. That's the girl you want in your
Yes.
corner. But we did meet our ex, and he paid for drinks, but no, he didn't pay for drinks. I remember because my friend's like, I thought he was supposed to pay for drinks. I'm like, I thought so too.
He didn't pay
But
for
I don't
drinks,
know.
and you ended up taking him for a steak dinner.
But I was coming on to him so strong, and he's like, no, we can't go there. We're done. And I'm like, fuck you.
So then why did he go?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here then.
I
Scram.
know. It was a whole thing. But this guy, this Hannibal guy, he ends up like, I ended up telling him, you know what, I and I feel bad breaking it off, but then he got all weird, and I was like, well, maybe we should just talk for a little bit. And he's like, oh, what's wrong with me? Blah blah blah. And he just went all psycho on me. I'm like, you know what? I go, no, sir. And I blocked him because I had blocked him the night before just so I'm not interrupted. And then I just blocked him. Well, then he went on Bumble and he reported my account, the motherfucker. And I'm like,
What?
what the
Well, I mean,
fuck?
of course you don't know what he said because it's not like Bumble.
We'll tell you.
No, and I had to like fight to get my account, and a girl needs her account. I'm sorry, but
He crossed the line.
He did.
yes. But
That's
I mean, if it makes you guys feel any better, that was the night I started talking to Officer Ross again, and I had sent him some videos while I was high, and we hooked up the next day. And that started our friendship with benefits thing.
It always circles back
And always
to
Officer Ross. He's the common denominator.
We've come full circle.
We have.
Full circle.
Helen, I don't know what you were thinking. That's crazy.
Do
That
as
wasn't.
I say, not as I do.
I mean,
Learn
who am I
from
to
me,
talk? I did a
please.
lot of crazy shit in Vegas. So
Look, know
I
where
I'm
your
sitting here
passport is
clutching my
at.
physical pearls. Who am I to talk?
But you know what? That started a new policy for me that I won't date a guy unless I've talked to him on the phone. Because if I would have talked to him on the phone, I would have noticed how weird he was.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because he was like, like,
No.
I didn't know if it was Beavis and Butthead. Like, it was fucking weird, you guys. Like, it was weird. So I'm like, no, never again. So now my policy is like, we talk on the phone beforehand. And it's been a good policy.
Yes.
Yeah. I learned from my mistakes.
There you go.
Helen, well, I'm glad nothing worse came out of that situation,
Yes,
right?
because it could have,
could have turned dark.
really fast. Yes.
Super dark. Yeah. So especially on Hannibal Street. I mean,
I would have taken that as a sign from the universe, and
I
been
would have been like, okay,
no,
I gotta
sir.
go.
No, sir.
No.
I'm not meeting you at my house. No. Oh my gosh.
So yeah,
Helen.
that was the story I was going to share with you guys today. But I had a lot of backstory to catch up with you guys. So there you go.
No, we always appreciate the stories, Helen.
Yes.
I mean, you're the best dating correspondent anybody could ever ask for.
Absolutely.
Stories upon stories. You make us laugh every time. And we appreciate you sharing this with us all the time. So thank you, Helen.
Oh, you're welcome. You are so welcome. Thanks for always having me on. It's been a blast.
Yes, so
We love it.
let me pull up the little calendar here. That being said, Helen joins us on the show every third Thursday of the month.
Yes.
So she will be hopping on the Hot Mess Express on April 18th.
Yes.
So Helen, that gives you a couple weeks to go get us more content.
Figure out. Well, no, she has
the date.
She has a date this weekend, so we want to hear what happened.
Absolutely.
If it goes bad, you'll hear about him. If it doesn't, you guys won't hear about him. I mean, I have so many other stories to tell you guys. I have a backlog.
Oh,
so
okay. Nice. I like it.
We love that.
We like it and we appreciate it. Oh my gosh, Helen, you make us laugh every time.
Yes.
So thank you so much. I mean, that's it for the show.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up.
Yes.
We don't have any. Oh, I do. I forgot. I have to promote Amo Chiimo with Adam Ramsey this Sunday at 12 p.m. Central Time. Don't know your time zones. You guys figure it out. And we are going to be joined by, with a third co-host this week, and it's going to be Brooby Dooby. So Bruce is joining the sad roller coaster, where we'll be taking you up and down the emotional ride that Adam and I do every other week.
It's such a roller coaster, but I love it. It's like, I want to punch a wall and then I want to cry.
Are you ready to run a marathon and then cry?
Yeah.
So that will be on Sunday, and then we'll be back next Tuesday with regular shows.
Yes.
Anything else?
No, I think that's it. Thank you all so much, Helen. Once again, thank you. You're a gem. We love you. And we'll catch you back here for another session of TMA April 18th.
April 18th.
April 18th.
Yes. Yes.
If we don't catch you on your shows, we'll catch you here next Tuesday.
Yep.
Have a great one.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much, and y'all have a good night.